Preparation for the real world. As Principal Lord said, it's changed a lot. The graduates are destined to leave their comfort zone. You have mastered your work here at Lenox Academy, and now must move on to the next level. Lenox Academy has become your home over the last few years. Its small size and personal feel will soon be foreign to you as you enter the vastness of our city's high schools. I remember a story when I went from St. Peter's Roman Catholic School, which was about 280 students, and I graduated and went to Brooklyn Technical High School, which I believe at the time was 4,500 students. You literally had a jumbo jet in Brooklyn Tech and not find it. 8 stories tall, and that's just the basic school. There's towers on each end that go up another 6 stories. You can get lost in there. This was a transition for me, and I want you to prepare yourselves for this transition. I remember the anxiety that I had trying to figure out where did I fit in this new environment. Prepare yourselves. Don't spend all summer having fun. Prepare yourselves for the next journey. I'd like to add that there are other changes going on in the world. At such a fast pace, we barely have enough time to prepare you. I know you're 12 and 13 years old, and might be a little bit way down the line, but things are changing so fast. If you don't prepare, things like home ownership are becoming unattainable if you are not planning. You have to save your money. I want you to think about that, even at 12 and 13. These are things that will affect you later in life. Current day expenses are so disproportionate from what me and your parents went through. I left home at 18 years old when rent was $400. I've got 2 20-year-olds at home right now because they're both working, but it's really tough out there to get an apartment or a home. So I want you to think of these things. Technology has changed the world unbelievably fast. Many benefits from technology. How many of you guys play PlayStation or Xbox? You can actually challenge someone in China. How many ladies are Skyping with your friends after school? Facebook. See, I'm even behind the times. But I want you to be careful of the pitfalls of technology also. In this world we live in, we have 24/7 video surveillance. You can't enter a building, walk into a subway, or even a school, or walk down the street without being captured on video. That's a pitfall. It creates a safety zone, but it also captures everything you do. And even worse than that, you have social media. It's fantastic, but at the same time, as youngsters, I want you to think. When you enter social media, you're creating a digital footprint that lasts forever. One moment with bad judgment, you'll be on that digital footprint forever. As the political coordinator, I had to get used to the new process when I hired people on campaigns of looking up their Google pages, looking up their Twitter accounts, their Facebook and MySpace. Well, MySpace is long gone, but and this told me more than their resume did. Many times somebody with a sterling resume had something captured in their digital footprint that put them in a negative light. College recruiters, employers, even landlords are looking at these digital footprints. So be very cautious of what you do. These are things your parents and I didn't have to deal with. As children, we had a little bit more flexibility and the world wasn't so harsh on us. I want you to be very careful about your digital footprint. Technology has also made vast changes in the workplace. Things that used to take many to do before, technology and computer and robotics, have less people doing the same job. That creates a logjam for employment. So now you as students have to prepare yourselves to distinguish yourselves from other applicants. You can't even go knock doors anymore to get a job. Everything is online. So your application and your digital footprint has to distinguish you and make you stand above the rest. That comes through hard work, education, and being persistent. You also need a moral foundation. And I want to touch on this for a little bit longer. Your moral foundation is what will get you through the hard times. It will keep you grounded. And I like to think of my moral foundation as integrity, honesty, and empathy for others. Martin Luther King once warned us about different types of leadership. He talked about the thermometer and the thermostat. Now, a thermometer leader, as a regular thermometer, it can only record the temperature around it. And a leader of that fashion won't challenge anything. It'll just go along with what's socially acceptable and be cautious. Martin also talked about being a thermostat leader and setting the temperature around you, regulating the temperature around you. Your preparation will help you do that, and your preparation will let you know when it's the time to challenge those around you and to elevate those around you. That's what true leadership is about. I'm going to end with a short story about my former boss. His name is Patrick Gaspard. For those that don't know, Patrick Gaspard was the National Field Director for President Obama's first election campaign. When President Obama won his election, Patrick Gaspard was on the transition team to hire all of his staff, and Patrick Gaspard was assigned as the political director of the White House. Patrick Gaspard is now ambassador to South Africa and was there as the leader passed away. We were having a discussion, and Patrick was letting me vent when I was much younger about the equity in the sharing of the workload in the office place. And I was complaining that my workload was too heavy with the senior staffers not getting the same amount of the workload. And as I said, Patrick sat there and listened for a good while, and then he cut me off and he said, "Del, if you want to succeed, you need to understand that the reward for good work is more work." I'm going to repeat that. The reward for good work is more work. You create a reputation of having work that has integrity, you're dependable, and those people want to come back to you and give you more work. That was a pivotal moment for me, because I stopped looking at work as a task, and I started looking at work as a legacy of what I do and what I leave behind. And I want you to think of the same. I want you to relish more work, because that means you're doing good work. Education is the great equalizer. Many of us come from different backgrounds, different walks of life, different financial flexibilities. Education will equalize all of that, and it's the one thing no one can take away from you. Celebrate today because you've earned it. But every day on, educate yourselves. I want to thank you for having me, and I want to thank you for what I'm sure will be a bunch of future success.